Thank you for your interest in the World at Work Sales Compensation Professional Certification. This recording features Pete Wood, World at Work Certification Manager, and Jim Steckman, World at Work Practice Leader. During this session, they discuss the Sales Compensation Professional Certification and the examination.
The Sales Compensation Certification is a professional designation. It allows you an opportunity to establish your credentials and show your commitment to remaining, on top of your field. It's a way that you can validate your own experience, your own capabilities based on your background and the knowledge that you've acquired through your career, and validate that for your own personal benefit, if you will. Give yourself confidence around being having fully mastered the competencies that are a part of this practice. But it certainly will also validate your capabilities for your employer and for your career path. It'll be beneficial in that respect, certainly. The field of human resources is becoming increasingly specialized, and sales compensation, probably the leading example of that, and this certification allows you to really take that specialization and demonstrate that you have mastered the components of this particular capability area. There is not a single preparation course that covers all the content in the exam. In other words, we don't have a course that you could take and following that course take this exam and be certified in this field. And that's because the breadth and depth of competencies that are a part of this particular specialization are so broad. And there's a number of ways in which you can prepare yourself, and certainly your job experiences first and foremost. They're your job experiences. The mentoring and coaching you receive during the course of your career is also going to be very, very important. And certainly classroom experience and learning in the traditional, conventional sense is going to be very, very important. But there's no single preparation course that will enable you to pass this exam. It's really the combination of that comprehensive nature of the way you build experience in the course of a career. The exam is based on the sales compensation body of knowledge that we put together working over a 2-year period with people like yourselves in the field, compensation practitioners who were specialists in the area of sales compensation at a variety of firms and organizations. And Pete led that effort, and he can talk to you a little bit more if you'd like to know, what kinds of people were involved in that. But the point is, we spent a couple of years interviewing them and identifying the key aspects that are important in the field, the key kinds of experience, the key kinds of knowledge, in a word, the competencies that are a part of this particular designation. And we created a body of knowledge, which is a complete set of the concepts, terms, activities that make up the profession. So it's a framework that we completed and then tested, if you will, against other people's experiences, just to validate that we had in fact been comprehensive. So typically this kind of a framework allows you to be certain that you've captured all of the essential elements of competency within the specialization.
So now we're going to go into the 4 steps that certification candidates should take in order to prepare for the CSCP exam, which again is perfect for those of you who are unsure about proceeding. We hope that this is going to help give you some guidance. So let's move on to the first step. Okay, the very first thing that you want to do is review the body of knowledge. The body of knowledge, as Jim mentioned earlier, is the complete set of knowledge, skills, and abilities that we've defined that are required for competent practice in sales compensation. It is 4 different knowledge domains comprising 66 different job tasks, which are what we test on in the certification exam. As you can see on the screen there, the 4 knowledge domains are strategic management of sales compensation, designing sales comp plans, administering sales comp plans, and finally evaluating the effectiveness of your sales compensation plans. Now, what you want to do in order to view the body of knowledge, if you have not done so already, is visit our website. If you go to the World at Work website and click on certification, it will bring down all of our different designations, including the CSCP, the Certified Sales Compensation Professional designation. When you click on that, it will take you to the page that has all of the information on the CSCP, including the body of knowledge. and there is a link you can click on and pull up a PDF of the body of knowledge, and that gives you a detailed framework for what will be on this exam, what we're testing, and it gives you a good opportunity to then look at what we're testing and compare that against your experience, against courses you've taken, against your breadth of knowledge and experience, and determine what areas you may want to do some additional preparation in. So the body of knowledge is very valuable. It's an outline of the exam, and if you look at it and determine that there's certain areas there that maybe you want to do a little more work in, then that's the piece where you're going to want to do some additional education. And for that, I'm going to turn it back to Jim, and we'll go to step 2 to talk about some of the things that you can do.
Thanks, Pete. The body of knowledge, just to add a couple of notes to Pete's comments, the body of knowledge I think you'll find extremely helpful to give you a sense and a very detailed sense as the tasks that we have identified that make up competency in this area. And I think by looking at that, I'm not sure how many of you have had a chance to do that, but even if you've had a chance to do that, I would encourage you to go back and take another look at that, and it'll give you the best single sense, if you will, of what is made up and what is covered by certification in sales compensation. It was constructed based on just a lengthy analysis based on experiences of people just like yourselves. Now, to take the next step and to supplement your knowledge and make sure that you are versed in all the areas that are represented in the body of knowledge. As I mentioned, there isn't a single preparation course that covers all the content areas for the exam. There are a number of ways that there are a number of learning resources that we could recommend to you. WorldatWorl offers numerous sales compensation educational offerings and resources. Certainly, we have our Elements of Sales Compensation course, and we've got a couple of additional one-day courses as well. But we've also got, if you go to our One-Stop Topics link on our website under resources and click on sales compensation, you will see a portfolio of resources that is real fantastic in my view. It's grown tremendously over the last few years. We've been focusing on sales compensation. And whether or not you're interested in certification or not, if you're in the field of sales compensation, that resource to me would be invaluable. I would encourage you to check that out. It's got all the articles that we've published over the last several years. It's got our white papers. It's got our webinars. It's got a book portfolio that you can review to build your knowledge by reading and make sure you've got the latest resources in the area of sales compensation. And it's got just a number of other resources that are included there, and it's aptly named One-Stop Topics. There's one specifically devoted to sales compensation. And so when we say on this slide that WorldatWorl offers numerous sales compensation educational offerings and resources, I don't think numerous is a strong enough word there. That we've just got a tremendous an extensive list that's quite comprehensive and quite helpful, I think, to anyone that's in the field. There are materials that candidates find particularly useful. We have e-learnings, Elements of Sales Compensation. We've got Sales Comp Design. I've referenced these two are examples of our one-day and our two-day course in the field of sales compensation, and they're available in virtual format. We've got numerous books on the topic, Sales Compensation Essentials, a field guide for HR professionals. It's by Coletti Fiss and Ted Briggs and Scott Sands. We've got the classic, really. Coletti and Shkelly wrote Designing Sales Compensation Plans. We've got a recent edition by Joe DeMista with Simpson, Sales Compensation Made Simple. And another book that really is a great practical resource for you to have if you're in this field is Sales Compensation Math. And it's by Coletti Fiss and Mark Davis. And there are other books that you'll find on the One-Stop Topic there. We've also got the Best of Sales Compensation. It's a collection of important sales compensation articles that we've published in the Journal and Workspan over the last several years as well. And so we've got really quite a list there. And if you combine these supplements, if you will, to build your knowledge base and have as resources, if you will, you combine those with the body of knowledge, you can give yourself, I think, a good sense of confidence about your background, and if there are areas that you'd like to strengthen your your expertise in, these resources certainly can help you do that.
Okay, let's move on to step 3 now. Step 3 is the practice exam. When we launched the CSCP, we had a number of people asking for a practice test, and so we got together and we put one together. It's 50 questions. It's based on the same body of knowledge as the CSCP exam, and it's something that you can download. You can take it at home or at the office. You download it to your home computer, and it gives you some insight into the types of questions that may be asked on the test. It also gives you a little bit of practice with the computer-based testing environment because, as you may or may not know, there's not a paper and pencil version of this exam. It's delivered through Pearson VUE testing centers worldwide, and so you take it in a testing center and you take it on a computer. So the benefit of the practice exam, if you have not done any of the computer-based testing yet, is that you do get to experience that environment at your desktop. Now, when you take the actual CSCP exam, it will be at a Pearson VUE testing center. The practice exam, in addition to giving you a feel for computer-based testing and a feel for the kind of questions that we have, is it does give you practice. We're not asking the exact same questions that are on the exam, but we are asking similar questions, and at the end, you can see what your score is and go back and see what the correct answer was, and it just gives you an opportunity to practice the concepts. One of the things we do want to stress is that the practice exam is not diagnostic, and what that means is that if you do pass the practice exam, it's still not a guarantee of passing the CSCP. So we do strongly encourage you, beyond the practice exam, to do additional preparation with some of the methods that Jim mentioned or whatever you feel is necessary in order to walk in and be prepared to take the test. But the practice exam is certainly a good step to give you an idea of what it feels like to take the test, and again, a good feel for what the questions will be, how they will be laid out, what type of multiple choice items we ask, how the graphics look. A lot of the things that you see on the practice exam are good examples of what you would see on the actual CSCP exam. So with that, let's take it to the final step in our 4-step process, which is actually registering for the exam. So now that you know what to expect on the CSCP, it's time to register, especially for those of you who have already decided to take it. You can go to our WorldatWork website and register online. You can also call into Customer Relationship Services and talk to a customer advisor and register that way. The CSCP exam is comprised of about 150 questions, and those will be administered, as I mentioned, at Pearson VUE testing centers. We work with Pearson VUE as our test vendor, and we have 3,500 testing centers worldwide, so there's plenty of places to take the exam. Another point on the registering for the exam is that once you do register, you have 120 days to take that exam. So you do have a good period of time there to find a convenient location and a convenient time and place for you to take the exam. So that wraps up our 4 steps of talking about the CSCP